Morning. Back with another day. One thing I want to mention. Um, I was a little bit a couple minutes late here starting the stream. I was just replying to some comments on YouTube, but I wanted to mention that for some reason YouTube is trying to hide comments from me, which I don't know why. Um, so I had to do some finagling to see the comments that were on my last live stream. I don't know why they're being hidden as spam because the people who are commenting, seem legitimate, like they're asking legitimate questions. So I don't know why they're being hidden from me, but I'll try and keep an eye out for anyone who comments. Just be aware that I'm trying to figure out why exactly YouTube is doing that. I might not see your comments right away, and I also work 9 to 5 right after I finish streaming, and I go to bed early so I can wake up the next day fresh. So I'll try to reply to everyone's comments when I can. But the comment that I was replying to, if they watch this video, I'll do it right at the start. They were asking about my scanners and the software I use instead of Warrior Trading. And I replied that yes, I used to use the Warrior Trading scanners for a long time. For most of my journey, actually, I only swapped to ChartsWatcher um, maybe a month ago now. Yeah, it hasn't been long, but I have been liking ChartsWatcher so far as I've been using it. It can do pretty much everything the Warrior Trading scanners can do, as long as you can configure it correctly. Now there are a few settings that I haven't figured out yet to make it exactly like the Warrior Trading scanners, but they're like 99% similar. Sometimes some stuff will pop up on the Warrior Trading scanners that um, might not pop up in my high of day momentum or running up because of my settings. But the benefit is that you can configure your scanners to what you want and what your strategy is. Whereas when you're with Warrior Trading, it's great if you want to trade exactly like Ross, but if you have any changes to your strategy, then you're kind of stuck with the scanners that you're given. And yeah, I have my high day momentum and running up on the screen, but I also have like continuation and the top leading gainers up there as well. Like it's kind of hard to see because I don't usually show them, but see the top gainer scanner on the top there, and next to it is continuation, but it doesn't look like, unless I enable my stream, you'll be able to see the continuation scans there. But it has, you can make all the scanners that Warrior Trading does, and it's a bit cheaper. My advanced sub is, I think it was only like $70 a month USD or so. And TradingView likes to do a lot of annual sub discounts for like Black Friday or special events. So usually, if you want to commit to trading software, like a charting software, you can usually pick up a big discount for like 50% off or 75% off. And what I like about TradingView compared to the Warrior Trading scanners is that the Warrior Trading scanners don't have additional time frames. Like they have a few set time frames. I used to use the 2 minute chart a lot. The Warrior Trading charting software doesn't have 2 minute charts. And you can also save your drawings across multiple charts. So I have my watch list here on the side, usually, which has two charts, and I could put an extra one up on the top screen because I have four monitors. But whenever I, make a drawing in the main chart, my Momo chart here, it automatically goes up to the charts on my side screen. But in the Warrior Trading, at least when I last used it, their charts don't do that. So that was kind of annoying for me. I would kind of draw on the main one, and then when I switched to a different chart and I kept the stock that I was looking at on watch, the drawing, like I'd have to do the drawing again. So there are a few reasons why I switched. I save a bit of money right now because the Warrior Trading charts are expensive. The Warrior Trading charts are great. It's just, it's 200 USD a month, and I'm Canadian, so it's even more for me. That'd be like $280 a month for charting software. Since our conversion rate is about 1.4, usually around 1.4. So it's like 40 extra bucks for every $100 USD. So yeah, it'd be like $280 a month. Like, holy smokes, right? And yeah, the broker that I use is TradeZero. I mentioned that as well, that they don't see a lot of people using TradeZero. I talked about TradeZero a couple days ago, I think, because someone in the stream was asking about it. But I mean, TradeZero's okay, gets the job done. I see that there's a lot of people that actually like TradeZero over other brokers for whatever reason. I still think that there are better US brokers that I just don't have access to because I'm Canadian, and those brokers require registration with Canadian authorities for us to be allowed to use them. So TradeZero is the best option that I have in Canada, in my opinion. That's not Centerpoint and requires a $30,000 account minimum. But TradeZero is good. It gets the job done. It has everything that I need to trade the strategy, and it has relatively fast execution speed. Um, its account minimum is very low. I think it's only like $500 that you need for a minimum account size to be able to trade with it. But the commissions are very expensive. So right now I'm kind of trading at like the minimum threshold that you would kind of need in order to not be losing from commissions, because I think the minimum share size is like 100 shares. Anything below 100 shares, they charge $1 for both your entry and your exits. I think it's like $1.10 or something. So you could fund an account with 500 shares and trade with 10 shares, but you're going to be charged, $2 on every trade, which isn't that great if you're wanting to trade with a very small share size. In which case, the only other Canadian broker that I could use that's commission free would be either Webull or Questrade. Webull has a bit longer execution speeds from what I've heard, and sometimes they restrict certain stocks. Questrade doesn't restrict anything as far as I'm aware, but they don't have very customizable hotkeys. So, but that's just what's available in Canada, right? There's probably more suitable brokers for trading commission free in the US that you can have access to. But for the account size that I'm trading, TradeZero does its job. There are a few things that I don't like about it that I wish I could use US brokers for. Like, I don't mind paying the extra commissions for the quality. Like, I would trade with Lightspeed if I could, because they have direct access routing. Their execution speed is instant, practically instant. whereas TradeZero only has smart routing, which sometimes delays orders a little bit. Sometimes TradeZero lags, especially at market open. Can't really trade first few minutes of market open, even if I wanted to, because it lags. Some of the level 2 configuration that you can see on stream here, like up this top bar. I don't know if you can see my mouse. This top bar isn't customizable, so you get what you see. I would like to be able to change this in particular, high 265. I would like to include extended hours here so that it shows me the high of pre-market, but it doesn't let me. So, I mean, there's a few annoying things, but overall it's the best option that I have, and it works. Yeah, I don't really like TradeZero's charting software either. That's why I have TradingView as my charting software. TradeZero's charting software is like archaic, to be honest. I don't like the visual look. I don't like the settings. The settings aren't that great to be able to change what you want, like all the indicators and stuff. Not very intuitive. There's a problem with the highs and regular and extended hours like before. No, I just like TradingView. It looks nice. Lots of customization options. And yeah, I mentioned like I'm trying, like I've only used ChartsWatcher for a month and it's pretty good so far. There's apparently another one. Apparently Trade Ideas is also good. I've never tried Trade Ideas and I haven't like looked super into it. But I think Trade Ideas is a little bit more expensive than ChartsWatcher. It's a little bit more well known. Webull is free and they have 10. Oh, that's good. Yeah, Webull was actually the very first commission free account that I opened. I don't remember exactly why I didn't use it. But I ended up choosing TradeZero because I wanted the faster execution speed. I'm the type of person that's willing to trade a little bit of money for more quality. Like I can afford it. And I know that Webull sometimes restricts certain stocks. So I'd be pretty annoyed if I lost on a trade because of a bad fill, or sometimes the stock just gets restricted and I can't trade it. Webull's great though. I know a lot of people use Webull. If you're trading in a simulator though, I think Webull's simulator kind of stinks. I heard their fills in the simulator are like terrible. Yeah, I'm in Canada. So you're stuck with the options that I have then too. If you're in Canada, yeah. It's not great. I was hoping that Questrade was going to develop like a really good broker. You know, their beta. that they have going on right now. So apparently they were looking to develop the Canadian broker, but it's still too early right now. It didn't even have hotkeys last time I checked, which is a bit disappointing. So yeah. I'm in Ontario, so I don't have the ability to use Ocean One either. I know in some parts of Canada Ocean One is usable, and apparently Ocean One is really good. But in Ontario it is banned, so like Trade Zero and Webull are the only options for me because Questrade doesn't have customizable hotkeys, and that's just a no-go for me. A deal breaker. Yeah, I even emailed some of the US brokers to see if there were any options for me to use them, and they just said no. They said, sorry, better luck next time. They are not allowed because of Canadian policy. Canadians, the Canadian government actually requires them to be registered in order to take Canadian citizens. So it's not like hey, can you just let me on your broker and I'll sign a waiver or whatever? It's like, no, they literally can't. Just sad. So, I mean, just looking at the scans this morning, not really that much that's interesting to me right now. PGHL might be interesting. It can break 150. But this is also on the backside of this move from the 15th. Maybe it would even have to break 170. ATAI floats too high. Everything else is enough on the day. So we're just chilling. Hey Kingming, no problem. Yeah, if you just popped into the stream just now, I actually, right when I started the stream, I did a recap. So if you want to go back in the stream and watch that, you can. Yeah, no problem. Beta and Questrade has some hotkeys, but not great ones. Yeah, I wish they would do that. I would like to use Questrade. Like that's the deal breaker. Well, there's two deal breakers for me with Questrade. Yeah, the first one is the hotkeys that suck. The second one is that in the original platform, they didn't even have like halt levels showing on their level 2 or halt resumption prices. So those are like two big no-nos for me. I don't know if they show halt resumption on their new platform in their beta. I hope they do. But there's a couple of questionable things that they need to work on still before I even consider using their platform. But I would like to use, I mean, if I could, I would be using a commission-free broker right now if it had decent execution speed and had hotkeys and had all the things that I needed. because right now I'm a break-even trader. Like I'm slightly unprofitable over the past, how many months have I been streaming now? Um, since the end of March, since April. So April, May, June, July. Like, bro, yeah, maybe almost 4 months of streaming and logging my metrics. I'm down maybe like $90 over 200 trades. So I'm basically a break-even trader, right? Slightly unprofitable. Keeping our head above water. But with commissions, over 200 trades, I'm down a lot. In the grand scheme of things, the commissions are kind of what's eating me alive. But I mean, I can afford it, right? It's not that big of a deal for me. A couple $100 over 3 months it's not a lot for me. I use TradeZero. So TradeZero for my level 2 market data, my orders, and TradingView for my charting software, and ChartsWatcher for my scanners. Maybe I should just, I think I had something on stream here. There. I'll keep that there. I had that up before. Is that too visually annoying on the screen, having that there? Maybe I'll make it smaller and put it somewhere else. But yeah, Aruba, I mentioned the Kingman at the start of the stream because I did have some questions about it. I talked a bit more in depth about, why I use this broker and the setup that I'm using. If you're interested in that, you can go back to the very beginning of the stream there. I do a bit of a longer conversation about it. No problem. We're just waiting for 7:30. We're being patient. I'm not jumping into anything here. We're just waiting for news. The XST is popping up here, but I don't see any news on it, and we're on the backside. One thing to keep in mind today is that market sentiment has been pretty heavily leaning towards when a stock first pops up. So what we're going to be looking for is stock that meets all 5 pillars of the Warrior Trading stock selection criteria. It looks good. There's nothing in the way on the daily, but we're going to be looking for if it's moving quickly. If it's up preferably more than 50% on the day in the first pop and it's moving quickly, then we should probably try to buy somewhere on a dip or first 1 minute candle to make a new high. First or second 1 minute candle to make a new high, or first or second pullbacks. Because it seems that traders are willing to jump in because most of those moves have been working. Whereas what happened yesterday was, I always kind of hesitate jumping in on the first couple of candles because we need to see if the stock holds up. There is danger in jumping in right away, in the sense that if you get in too high, it can reverse very quickly. So there's a lot of risk involved as well. So I have to adjust my share size accordingly. But at the same time, right, I jumped in on first 1 minute pullback on the dip on VWAP and it didn't work. And most of the bull flags that I've been trying to get into just have been rejecting because short sellers have been so aggressive. That's the market sentiment recently. We're popping up very quickly on the first few candles, and then because they're so extended, they just consolidate. They don't really go any higher. So if you don't get in on the first pop, then kind of miss the whole thing. Which is kind of unfortunate because I prefer it when we have proper 1 minute pullbacks as setups. That's what I'm more comfortable with. That's what I've traded with in the past. It makes it easier for me to take larger share size with confidence because we have defined levels of support and resistance. So it is dangerous to jump in, but it's just kind of been what's working recently. The goal is to wait for quality and news, and if something is moving quickly, then we got to overcome our hesitation and our fear. But if it's not working, we have to cut our losses quickly. It's 7:30. I'm watching for news. Erax, the biotech stock. This one had a move a few days ago. There might be bag holders on this. Already got a couple of topping tails. Hey Prabinks. It's TradeZero Pro. So TradeZero Pro is the broker, TradingViewer the charts, and ChartsWatcher are the scanners. So I use 3 different software for my setup. Yeah, I don't think VRAX is gonna be the one for me to start wasting bullets on, since we had this move a few days ago. It's kind of a pop and drop stock. Every time it's popped up recently, it's sold off. There's gonna be bag holders on this. For scanning, it's called Charts Watcher. Yeah, I'm still a bit new to using Charts Watcher. I used to use the Warrior Trading Scanners for a while, but I do like Charts Watcher so far. I really like that I can connect it to my trading view here, so whenever I click a scan, it just auto types in the symbol, right? LMD, Irax. And I'm saving a bit of money compared to the Warrior Trading software, which is $200 a month. One thing I'll clarify that I didn't mention is that for me, the best if you're trading with real money, everything I said stands. But if you're trading with the simulator and you're going to be trading with the simulator for a while, I think that Warrior Trading probably still does have the best simulator that I've tried, especially the simulator that they've done recently. They're retiring their old Windows-based simulator, and they're going to their web-based simulator. That's new. I haven't tried that one, but the Windows-based one was really good, and I expect that if they're retiring the Windows-based one, and the web-based one is probably just as good. But if you're trading with the simulator, I would probably still recommend just getting the simulator package, because it comes with, you know, everything you need as a beginner. It has the scanners, it has the charts, it has the simulator built right into the web-based stuff. So I think their simulator is great, and a lot of these brokers, their simulators really aren't that developed. Like Trade Zero Simulator, it doesn't show halt bands or market depth really. It just has one band that shows an estimated price, and it can be a bit laggy. I think the Webull simulator is pretty laggy. Yeah, that caveat still stands, is that the war trading software and simulators is still expensive. Depends on if you want to pay for quality or not. For me, like, I can afford it, and you know, I would almost rather pay to make sure that the software isn't the problem, that I'm the problem, right? Because if I'm trading in a poor simulator and I just never show profitability, I'm not going to know how much of that is bad fills and how much of it is myself. That's just my opinion. I know not everyone can afford expensive software. So BLMD is only up 15% and it's too cheap for me, so I'm just not trading it. If something is popping up on the scans, but I'm just not even clicking on it, usually it's because it's just not preferable. Just not part of my stock selection criteria. On my scans, I have it customized in a way that if I don't like it, usually it's like a lighter color. Whereas if I do like it, it's more red. You can see on the like on the scans here, red is good because it has a lot of volume, daily volume, but it's white because there's not a lot of volume up on these scans. GLMD, the price is white as it gets cheaper, but as it gets more in the range that I like, it starts getting green. So green for price, and everything else red is good. So 0.79 red is good. Lower float is good. Higher float is less good. Green, like still slight green. 7 million, still okay. Anything above like maybe 15 or 20 million is going to be white. You know, good. I don't have a video, but maybe I should do one. I can probably do one where I show not just the scanners, but also like my desktop setup, how I have my screen set up and stuff. There is one person that I could link you that has done a Charts Watcher tutorial recently that's pretty similar. Well, let's see if I can find him. Last I checked, I don't think he's trading small caps anymore, but his kind of like mini tutorial is probably still there. Let's see. Da, da, da. Yeah, I found him. I'll link it. I'll link it in the chat here. I don't think he. I'm gonna check his channel before I say anything. Yeah, his last video is that he's pausing small caps, so I don't know if he's trading anymore. But I mean, this video still stands. He shows how to set up the Charts Watcher scanners, kind of like the Ross Cameron scanners. There are a few things that I did change on it, but it's like pretty similar. I linked it on my alt account. That guy fell. Just because I have I have a separate computer on the side here. I have two PCs running. Oh, I linked his actual that's the actual video that he shows the scanners. The first one I linked was his YouTube channel. The second one is the actual video. So my bad there. Yeah, no problem. Which state I'm from? I'm from Canada. So I'm in Ontario. Hey, you're from Kitchener. Very nice. Hopefully the air quality isn't too bad for you over there. I know that in the Toronto area it's been terrible recently. Like I'm up north on the top side of Lake Superior. You can probably guess where. I don't want to say exactly from on stream, but I'm up there near all of the forest fires in that area, about 14 hours away. But I know even though the air quality here is bad, we're still like we're not a huge city, so we still got a lot of open space compared to Toronto. It's been raining ash here and it smells like a wood fire oven every day here for the past couple of days, but even so, I don't think the air quality is as bad as it is in Toronto right now with all the smoke. No, I'm not a full-time trader. I would like to be, but I'm still learning. I've only been trading for 11 months. Uh, Basically a break-even trader. I'm profitable with commissions. Slightly unprofitable. We're still in the learning phase. I work a 9 to 5 on the side after I finish stream here. Some days I have to end early. I don't trade like regular market hours very much after 9:30 because I have to get to work. But that's the goal, is to become a full-time trader. And I'm showing the ups and the downs right now. We've been doing well in the past couple of weeks here. We've got some green days going. Yesterday I had a red day, but we're still green on the week so far, so I'm hoping to not mess that up today. We're trying to be patient here and wait for something good to pop up that we like. So far, I don't really like VRAX. I don't like GLMD. Nothing on the scans is urging me to take a trade right now. Yeah, I hope so. We're on fire. This is the worst I've ever seen it. I don't think it's ever been this bad. I'm 30. Like I'm not old, but I'm not a teenager anymore. I've been living in where I am for almost 30 years. Well, yeah, I have been living here for 30 years. And it's orange outside. The inside of my house, even in my basement, smells like a fire pit. Ugh, it's not good. I don't think we have enough firefighters to deal with it. Let me look at the forest fire map again. It looks like it's improving compared to how it has been the past couple of days. There's not as many extreme fire zones up here. But there's still quite a few fires going. Hmm. Well, it's supposed to rain tomorrow, so hopefully it's going to be put out by tomorrow. Yeah, great time to cut wildfire funding right when we're getting one of our hottest heat waves that we've ever had. We don't discriminate here. 23 is 23 is a good age. I wish I was still 23. The moment I turned 30, I felt like I aged a decade in an instant. Yeah, I honestly wish I found trading when I was 23. If I had found it back then, I would be in a very different situation right now. But I can't say that I can't say that I regret what I did. I got my bachelor's in business, and that's helping me quite a bit. I can do my own accounting for one. I don't have to hire anyone to do my accounting. I know how to do my own tax. And I have a job that pays the bills, so it funds my learning here. Yeah, VRX is curling, but I think, like I said earlier, I think this is a no trade stock for me. We got 7 minutes to 8 a.m. Hopefully we get something. Oh, did my did my YouTube chat auto ban the second link that I posted? That linked directly to the video that I was talking about? Or did you find it? I think my chat auto banned the link because I was on my alt account. I'm still somewhat new to streaming, so sometimes there'll be some things that I'm learning here. Here, I'll post it on the main account here so that it doesn't get banned. That's for the tutorial on how to set up the charts watcher scanners similar to Ross. I think there's a few things that I changed. I don't remember exactly what they are. I would have to open up my settings here. Yeah, I'll probably do a video on that at some point. I can show my exact settings. But yeah, Benjamin doesn't I don't think he's trading small caps anymore. I think he's learning large caps. But I do try to get around in the community to see like who is live streaming, who's trading on YouTube. We had PBM popping up here. That's still too light volume. I do try to get around and see who's streaming and stuff. Oh. I don't mind sharing their content if I think that they're legit. And by legit, I just mean like they're showing their real P&L and live day-to-day struggles or profitability if they are profitable. Daily wages around $10 to $12 a day. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I suppose the benefit, if you were to save enough to start trading with a small account, is that if you do become successful, then you can make a significant living, even if you're pulling like 5 cents a day out of the market because of the conversion rate. Like, for example, this is a $2,000 account for me in Canada, but that's in USD. So if I convert, if I take money out of my account, that's going to convert to Canadian dollars. You multiply that by 1.4, like every dollar I make is multiplied by 1.4, and you know, that's a significant amount of money, even though I am getting taxed on it compared to the US, where the US you can kind of trade in a Roth IRA and not get taxed and build up your retirement account. You know, I get taxed here, but at least I'm getting a 40% conversion rate, like 1.4 times conversion rate from USD to CAD. In India, I imagine that's probably even more. I don't know what the conversion rate USD to whatever the Indian currency is. But yeah, it's hard to get started for sure. I can feel that. Yeah, that's a lot. 96.5. Wow. I can imagine how hard it would be to save up to actually start an account. Yeah, if you wanted $1,000 account, you would need 10,000 Indian currency. I don't know how much Indians get in wage. You said daily wages around $10 to $12 a day. Yeah, that would be difficult. Morning, momentum trader. We got a slow day so far. You haven't missed anything. So this is a bit too cheap. It's only $1. I don't usually like trading penny stocks. We got a topping tail here and a higher volume red candle. The float is also a little bit higher, so this is going to be pretty grindy. Some people are going to jump on this, but I don't think I'm going to jump on it yet, at least. Uh, Preliminary first half 2026 revenue of 207 million. I mean, the news does sound good, but I think this is going to be grinding like this with a bunch of topping tails. It's not easy to trade. Yeah, the highest is 59%. And TGHL is mostly just continuation from the after hours move. Gap down and I'm trying to come back up, but I haven't really had anything today that's popped up at all. Yeah, you can see how choppy this is trading. I don't like trading pennies. I'll wait for something in the $2 to $10 range, hopefully. No, 8 a.m.'s come and gone, and we're still sitting and waiting. In the past, when the market's really cold, sometimes I pull up like Slay the Spire or something and play it. But yesterday we had a stock come out at a weird time and I missed it, so I don't really want to miss it. Something does randomly pop up at 8:05 again. Some sort of weird time. Hmm. IQST looks like it might be trying to break out. It is our second leading gainer, and this 5-minute candle is closing in 10 seconds here. So a breakthrough 125 might see it push higher, maybe to like 135. If it can break, I don't know if it can, but I think I'm just gonna leave it alone. I don't like trading these penny stock grinders. Looks like it's rejecting anyways. What I can do, since people are asking, is I can show my charts watcher settings, I guess. I could do that for my scans. Let's see. Window capture. Make a new one. Let's just do screen capture. I don't care. Light capture. Why not? This one. All right, just give me a second here. That would be monitor, right? Yeah. Let's do display capture. So I'll start with the running up. This isn't going to be a guide or anything. This is going to be showing it on stream. And I can't say that this is, I mean, this works for me so far. Like, I've been using ChartsWatch for a month, and these are the settings that I've come to. So for the running up scanner, you just create an alert, running up, minimum change 4, do not repeat symbol for 2, an alert count symbol per 3. Some of this stuff is the same as it was in the video that I linked from from Benjamin. My filters are relative volume, so 5-minute relative volume percentage. So this is the settings that filter what shows up on my scans. So it needs to be over 25% daily relative volume. This would be the equivalent of like 0.25 relative volume for the Ross Cameron Warrior Trading scanners. And the 5-minute relative volume over 100. This is 1.0. And we have price. It needs to be between 25 cents and 30 cents. I don't really care about anything over 30 cents on the running up scanner, or $30. Sorry, not 30 cents. I don't really care about anything over $30, and I don't care about anything under 25 cents. So nothing between, everything between that range and nothing under or over, because I don't care about it. My settings for the Hive Day momentum is different, but this is just for the running up. Just keep that in mind, right? Like, I don't care about these running up, but I might look at them if they pop up on Hive Day momentum, or if they pop up on the top gainer scanners or the low float top gainer scanners. But for the running up, I just filter out anything above or below. And then between 1 and 40 million share floats, basically this is saying anything under 40 million, but I filter out anything that's 0 because for some reason on Charts Watcher, sometimes things will pop up that are 0 float and they're not interesting. Source, I think that's just default. NYSE NASDAQ. We don't use OTC because the OTC stocks are too risky. So just NYSE NASDAQ for sources. I don't think I have anything on symbol type. I don't have any filters on sector. I don't have any filters on country. I don't have any filters on watch list. I don't do an ignore list. My columns are, so this is what it looks like on the scanner itself. So I show time, I show the symbol, I show the news, I show the price, volume, and float because these are what I'm interested in, right? When I'm looking at a scanner, I mean, this is pretty much equivalent to the Warrior Trading scanners. So when it pops up in the scans, I just need to see, is there news on it? What is its price? What is its volume? What is its float? So that's what I need to see to determine whether it's interesting on the running up scanner. And the color schemes that I have there, so change, volume, price, relative, RSI, and float. I don't use RSI, that's just default to Charts Watcher. I think change, I can't remember if I kept this default. Maybe not, but I do green. So for change, green is good. More change is good. For volume, I do white is bad and increasing red is good. So as volume increases, it gets increasingly red. Price, my color scheme is white is lower priced and black, it gets more black as it's higher priced, and then the range in between is green. So I'm generally looking between like $2 to $10 is my ideal price range. So when it's popping up on the scans, if it's green, if price is green, if the change is green, and then if everything else is red, then that's like, all right, I need to get zoomed in on this stock because it's meeting all my pillars of stock selection. If it's white, then it's like, okay, this is lower price, but if everything else is red or green, then it might be okay. If it's black, I just don't trade it at all. I don't like trading priced stocks. Black or gray, I don't like trading anything above $30. It's just too expensive. Relative volume is just shaded purple. It just gets more purple the more relative volume there is. High relative volume is good. Float. So 0 is blacked out because there's something wrong with the stock if it has a 0 float. Either it's not like a regular industry stock, or maybe it doesn't have information. And then we kind of get increasingly lighter color as the float gets higher. So red is good, orange is good, yellow is good, But anything that's not like in this spectrum is going to be more, I would say, cooler. That's why it's blue or white. Anything above 20 million is going to be white. And the way ChartsWatcher works, by the way, is that these colors are more of a range. So it's not like anything below $6 is going to be this exact shade of green. It's a spectrum. So it gets increasingly green and then it gets increasingly faded out to black. On change here, it's going to be like, you know, red is bad and then it's a spectrum. It gets increasingly this color in between the ranges. That's the way that I have that set up. I don't think that there's anything else on that particular one that I need to add. So that's Hive Day. Hive Day Momentum is the next one that I use. So this is when it pops, the stock pops up near high of day, or it pops up and breaks high of day. So the alert is high of day / low of day pre or post market. And then just do not repeat because we don't want it spamming. And also high or low of day for regular hours. So this is including pre and post market. This is including regular hours. Filters are, I guess I did include the $30 range on the high of day momentum. Probably just look at it on the low float top gainer scanner, the top gainer scanner, if I'm actually interested in trading something that's higher priced. But I guess I do filter it out. Anything below 25 cents and above $30, don't care about it. Change from close needs to be over 5%. I don't care about anything that's popping up that's less than 5%. It just doesn't interest me because it's not obvious to traders. And usually I even prefer stocks that are above 30%. I just want to see it, like in case it's running up, right? If it's popping up high of day, then it could be 5% at that moment, but it could run up to 30%. But if it's below 5, we're starting to get into territory of just I don't care. High of day momentum, I'm a little bit more lenient on the float that I'm willing to see. Because if it's breaking high of day, sometimes there will be some occasions where I might trade a higher float if it's got really fantastic news, like it's got like a big company headline in it or something. So I'm willing to see it on the high of day momentum scanner, just not the running up scanner. So my range is between 1 and 100 million. Relative volume on the daily relative volume needs to be over 10%, which is equal to 0.1 if you're converting it to actual, like the ratio. And 5-minute relative volume percent be above 1. I filter out anything below 25,000 shares of volume because anything that's popping up near high of day but doesn't have volume, sometimes it just floods the scanner with information that I don't need. Like if it doesn't have volume yet, I don't care about it. It doesn't have at least 25,000 shares of volume. I just don't want it on my scans because I'm not going to trade it. And gap from close matters to me. Once again, it's kind of the same as change from close, 5%, same thing. Yeah, so that's high of day momentum and running up. Top lists are, I have low float top gainers. It's not showing on screen, but I do use a low float top gainer scanner as well. And I use a sound to notify me if a new stock pops up in the top low float top gainer scanner. Sometimes there will be stocks that pop up on the low float top gainer scanner, but they're not yet going through the running up or the high of day momentum. Sometimes it pops up like 30% instantly because of an algo spike, and then it'll play a sound and I'll be like, oh, what's that popping up in the low float top gainer scanner? And then I'll click on it. And then it'll start going on the running app as it starts gaining volume. But so the top list direction is changed from close from high to low values. And the filter on the low float top gainers needs to be up over 25% because this is my stock selection criteria. I prefer to be trading stuff that's over 25%. You know, this is going to be different on the actual top gainer scanner because the top gainer scanner works a bit differently for my trading workflow, in the sense that I want to be seeing everything so that I can get context. But for the low float top gainer scanner, this is kind of like my is this in the range that I like to trade kind of thing for my stock selection. So it needs to be over 50 cents. Needs to be under 6 million share float. That's what I consider to be low float. It's under 6 million shares. Yeah, I include stocks that are 50 cents because I still haven't been sure if I want to trade penny stocks or not. I mean, most of the time I don't, but I still include them anyways. So my columns are, yeah, change from close, symbol, price, day since news, float, daily volume. These are just the metrics that I care about. When I actually click on it, I mean, relative volume isn't here. I didn't mention that. Relative volume isn't included here, but relative volume, the way that I think about it is that if it's popping up on the running app or the low float top gainer scanner or the high day momentum scanner, relative volume might not be super high yet, but it can be. So I have my relative volume in the actual stock quote window for me to look at, but I don't include them here because if all of these are good, then I click on it and then I kind of do an assessment. All right, is relative volume high enough? How's the daily looking? How is that looking? It's kind of separate for me. I don't include it here, and it kind of floats the scanners a little bit. I have it elsewhere. So that's the same. Source is the same. NASDAQ, NYSE, Amex. Yeah, everything else pretty much the same, right? And the top gainer scanner is the last one here. It's just top list name, top gainers. I don't have a sound for it. Top list change from close, high to low values. Needs to be over 25 cents, and I don't have a restriction on it, right? Because I just want to see everything because I need context as to what's happening in the market, but I don't include anything that's less than, that's down on the day. I don't include anything that's red on the day. So it just needs to be not red. I can scroll down and look at it if I want to. Doesn't matter. That's my columns for it with all the color schemes and stuff. So you can pause stream and go back and look if you want. NYSE, NASDAQ, Amex. And I don't really have anything for all this stuff. And the last one that I use is the continuation scans. If I want to go and look at stocks that have been moving for the past few days. So my top list name is continuation. I don't have a sound for it. The top list is 10-day change percent. So I look at continuation from the past 10 days. Top list direction, high to low. And the only filters I have on it, once again, is that it needs to be over 25 cents. The 10-day change filter is it needs to be over 50%. Because to me, it's not continuation unless it's at least up 50% from the previous day. Like I don't really care about it. usually the stocks that I'll be looking at for continuation are ones that have popped up and held up over 50%, or like over 100% maybe. So anything that has popped up but hasn't held up over 50% from the previous day is, it's not even a continuation stock worth looking at for me. So those are my filters on that. And my columns are 10-day change percent, no color, symbol, price, days since news, float, and daily volume. Source, same things, NYSE, Nasdaq, Amex. And nothing there. I'm just looking at my alerts really quick. I don't use the watch list, by the way. I don't need watch lists. I don't usually make them. It's just kind of a waste of time, in my opinion, for the most part. If they're interesting to watch for the day, then I put them on a side chart, and that's about it. I don't do the whole watch list thing. But I was curious. Yeah, I do have I see Nasdaq Amex there. I don't know why Amex isn't in the selected elements on the running up. Maybe I can't put it there. But it's not available, so I don't know why Amex isn't available for running up, but it is what it is. So that's all my settings. I mean, there is a halt scanner here as well, but I haven't been using it because I haven't been trading market open very often. They're very easy to set up, right? It's just halt, resume. I don't think I even set up any filters for it or anything yet. I don't really excuse me, I don't really watch it. So yeah, these are what all my scanners look like. I only have the Hive Day and running up ones on stream most of the time because there's not enough space to fit all of them, but I do use all of these scanners. Hive Day momentum, right? Time, symbol, day since news, price, daily volume, float. Leading gainers, low float, top gainers. Then I have the stock quote window here, which includes the symbol, the country code, the sector, the industry, the news, the change since close, float, relative volume, daily volume. So whenever I click on a stock, that'll change, that'll populate, and then the news will populate in the news window here. I can read the news very quickly. The news and the stock quote are right beside each other. And then I have the continuation and top gainer scanner there. Yeah, that's about it. Looks like there might be something popping up. So kind of should pay attention. Ruby's up 84%. Ounces management, 94% increase. I'm not sure about Ruby. We have a higher volume selling candle here. It is up quite a bit on the day. It's our top leading gainer now. We have this topping tail that I'm a bit worried about. Ruby is also kind of a garbage stock. We have to see if it holds up. So hopefully that was helpful. That's just the settings that I have currently for Charts Watcher, but I gotta switch back here. Sorry about that. I don't know about Ruby. We got a higher volume selling candle now. Hmm. It doesn't look like it's holding up. Looks like Ross got a trade on this. He bought as it was squeezing up here. I suppose like if I was actually watching this, I could have bought on this dip, but it would be risky. Mostly because of this higher volume selling candle here. 153,000 share selling candle. Makes it a bit riskier. Now we have a big topping tail in the 5-minute. Has higher probability of rejecting. It still could curl back up. I just don't know if this news is significant enough. Yeah, I don't think I would have traded this. When the first 1-minute green candle closes with a big topping tail like that, I probably wouldn't have bought this dip anyway, even if I was looking at it. So I think I'm just gonna keep sitting tight and waiting. Hey Robbie, welcome. I'm from Canada, Ontario. Thanks, I appreciate that. Probably gotta get rid of all these drawings because they're from previous days. Ruby pops up quite often, and Ruby actually popped up. Um, yeah, it did pop up back here quite a few days ago, back on the 17th of June. I've briefly looked into Forex and futures, and I don't think that it's the right space for me. There are a couple of streamers that I've watched to see how they trade, like gold futures or like ETF minis and some of those markets, but you kind of need a bigger account size to trade them, for one, because they're on the more expensive side, and two, I think it's a little bit more difficult to be successful in those spaces because you're competing with algorithms and like a lot of the big hedge funds, and now you're dealing with Trump tweets. I can't say that I've looked extensively into it, but that's just what I've seen. Whereas in the small cap space, I think if you can maintain discipline and not get yourself blown up trading things that you shouldn't be, then we kind of have our own niche here, right? Like the hedge funds don't trade this stuff. They don't trade low floats because they can't. Like they can't move big dollar amounts in and out of the market if the float is only 1 million shares. If they want to trade with like, $10 million or $1 billion, they're going to be buying the whole stock. So we don't have as much competition here. Things are a little bit more straightforward. We're not competing with, we are competing with algorithms, but not as many. And I mean, the trading style is pretty simple, right? Like you just wait for news, news pops up, and then you trade it if it holds up. That's pretty much it. That's what it is in a nutshell. What's something interesting to me, by the way, is I don't know if you guys have seen the same thing, but there are a lot of false false information dealers, like a lot of YouTubers, live streamers, and stuff in the Forex futures and options spaces that it can be a little bit more difficult to pick out good information. That's another challenge. Small caps trading small cap momentum is kind of a tried and true strategy, and there are some different sources for it that you kind of know are reliable. And you have Ross Cameron, who is an actual educator in the space, that has been verified. Even if he has a little bit of an advantage, you know the strategy works. With forex and futures and stuff, it's a little bit different. And like large caps, there's a lot of prop firms in those spaces, and they're not as forthcoming with their information and like what they trade and stuff from what I've seen. And then there's also a lot of YouTubers who are like being called scammers and faking like their account balances and their money and stuff. And look at me, I'm trading with a $30 million account. It's just, it doesn't seem realistic to me. And will I ever trade with a $30 million account? I don't think I ever would, even if I had that much money. It's a bit more relaxing to me and a bit, how do I say? I'd prefer not to put $1 million into an account and lose all of it, right? I don't need $1 million to trade small caps. I only need maybe a couple $1,000 right now, and in the future I might need 10, 15, $20,000. And as I get more and more experience, maybe I can build that up to $100,000, $200,000. But if I'm trading with $100,000, $200,000 at that point, that's money that I can afford to lose. My risk tolerance gets better the more money I have. But would I still feel $1 million loss if I had a couple $1 million in savings? I would. I wouldn't want to put that much money into an account and have the potential to lose it because of a Trump tweet or something, right? I just I don't like the risk. My risk tolerance isn't there for it. It's the same reason why I don't trade to the short side. It's because there's unlimited liability on the short side. If I put $2,000 into an account in the long side, the most I can lose is $2,000. But if I trade to the short side, I'm trading on margin. And if the stock suddenly pops up to $50, if I'm trading like a $1 stock, I've seen it. I've seen a stock pop up to $50 from $1 before instantaneously. If I was in on the short side on that and I get instantly liquidated because my broker decides to liquidate my position in that instant, I could be down. If I'm in with 1,000 shares or 10,000 shares, I could be down like all of my savings in an instant and still owe money. So it's more about like risk tolerance, about my preference, and what information is out there and available. So I think we're still waiting. I'm just waiting for something to pop up that meets my pillars and holds up. This didn't hold up. I think even if this curls back up, I'm not sure if I would take a trade on it. First candle to make a new high would be above 575 for the breakthrough VWAP. But I don't know, it's pulled back a bit too far for me now. So this chart doesn't look very nice. Not really anything else going on. Yeah, even Ross is off early today. He's just giving up. He got his one trade in his small account, and he's just no trade on the big account, I guess. Kind of disappointing. I was hoping we could get something today. We still have one last chance at 9 a.m. here. But I'm not as optimistic. I'm not gonna force trades though if there's nothing interesting. Hopefully, yeah. I wish I could stay around until 10 a.m. every day, but do you normally trade like long into the evening, Momentum Trader? I'm not sure if even if I had the option to stick around like past 10:30 if I would do it. Something that I would have to decide if I quit my job to go full time, whether I would stick around past 10 even. Okay. I heard that past 10:30 usually that's when a lot of stocks lose momentum and consolidation begins happening and algorithmic traders start stepping in. All the algorithms are competing. It becomes more choppy after 10:30. There are some prop firms on YouTube that say like no matter what, just don't trade past 10:30. Like just get out of your position. And then come back for power hour at like 3:30 until market close and then a little bit past, maybe until like 5. Yeah, 2 p.m. till market close. Hopefully nothing too crazy for you. Yeah, I think if I go full time, I would probably consider coming back for power hour, trading 3:30 until 5. I probably wouldn't trade past 10 myself. Um, Ross Cameron, for whoever's familiar with him, he only trades until 9:30 most of the time. He doesn't even stick around for market open anymore, regular market hours, because of all the market orders, stop orders, circuit breaker halts. It just becomes difficult. I don't know. I've had some success trading gap and go strategies and stuff before. I'm definitely not as experienced with them. So we got 4 minutes to 9 a.m. Hmm. This is a combination of a stock that's too low price and has too high of a float for me to really be interested in it. It's also up only 10% of the day. Has a huge topping tail. I'm good on this one. We're gonna pass. This one is cheap and bouncing off of the 200 moving average right now. Not enough volume. It looks like today is going to be a successful no trade day if we don't get anything at 9:15. The only thing that had any opportunity at all today for me would have been maybe Ruby if I had bought in this first 1 minute candle. But I don't usually like buying the first pop. I prefer waiting for first 1 minute candle to close if it does a consolidation and then buying the consolidation, but I don't even think I would have. Even if I wasn't like in the middle of explaining Charts Watcher, I don't think I would have this big topping tail. I think Ross jumped in immediately, but his risk tolerance is a bit higher than mine. I think he jumped in at like 620 in his small account as it popped up. But I don't think I would do that. So I think today is just a successful no trade day for me. If we don't get anything else, I don't think there's going to be interesting at market open. I could be wrong. Something could pop up. Like this needs to get over 150 EGHL. But even then, it's still on the backside of this move from a few days ago. And its float is higher. I don't think I would be interested in this. Market open. E is too expensive. PAI's float is too high and it had a big dump. EPC is below VWAP. Hmm. think Doggo needs to go upstairs. All right, Doggo is upstairs. So we have 2 minutes until 9:15. A last chance for news. Commissions are about 0.005 cents per share, plus a little bit on top for extra fees. However, below 100 shares, so if you're trading 100 shares or below, it's fixed. So it's about $1.10 per order. So like if I buy 100 shares, or if I buy 50 shares or 25 shares, it's going to be $1.10 on the buy, and it's going to be $1.10 on the sell. On average, like around there. That's what it was last time I did my accounting for last year. It's about $2 per trade. But that's TradeZero Canada. Yeah. It'd be nice if they didn't charge commissions. Their commissions are pretty expensive. But with my strategy, commissions aren't the end of the world, because I'm only taking so many trades a day. I'm only taking a few trades a day on hot days, and maybe like 1 or 2 trades on cold days. So I'd be spending a couple bucks a day trading for commissions. It's not that bad. If I was a hyper scalper, I would be eaten alive though. So I don't know if I'm interested in Ruby here. We're coming close to market open. We're 14 minutes to market open. Like we're breaking through VWAP here. But yeah, if you do a lot of scalping, being commission free can be important. Saves you a lot of money. So it looks like this break of VWAP would have worked up to 620. The reason I didn't take this trade through VWAP though is because I took a trade yesterday for the breakthrough VWAP and it just ended up rejecting. So I don't really want to repeat the same thing that happened yesterday where I take a break of VWAP and it just rejects or jackknifes after this stock has kind of sold off this far. We're only 12 minutes to market open and there's not really going to be any more opportunities to make it back. So I'd rather just kind of sit on my hands and come back tomorrow, I think. Yeah, that's why I don't like trading penny stocks as much either because I take commissions. I have to deal with commissions. So if I only get like 5 cents on a scalp, then my risk reward isn't very good. This is grinding up. The reason I blockade my level 2 window is because technically people aren't allowed to stream level 2 market data without permission. So I redact the tape, right? I'm not hiding it because I want to. This is what my level 2 looks like unredacted, but I don't leave it open because I'm technically not allowed to and I could get in trouble for streaming level 2 market data. And if I got banned on Trade Zero, like I really don't have very many options as a Canadian. I would be pretty if I got banned on Trade Zero, I'd be pretty SOL. So I have this here so you guys can see like when I type in a ticker what my orders and stuff are on the bottom there as I'm doing a trade, but I just cover the level 2 stuff. I'm also considering like whether I should even have my scanners up on the screen. Like I could get in trouble for my leaving my scanners up too. The charting software is not an issue. I don't think the order entry windows are an issue. Um, I'm not sure about my scanners yet though. I'm still small, so I don't think I'm gonna get in trouble. Like I could theoretically stream with my level 2 market data open and they probably wouldn't do anything. But if I start getting some traction, I get some more viewers and they might start to care at some point. I don't know. I should probably email Charts Watcher someday and ask them if it's fine for me to leave my scanners up like that. In an ideal world, I would be able to stream both my level 2 and my scanners because I want people to see what I'm doing so they can see my whole workflow, right? So something pops up in the scan, I click on it, they can see like what I'm looking at. Symbol, news, price, volume, float, and then what I'm looking at on the level 2, but just a question of what's allowed and what's not. I'll give an example, by the way, about the scanners. There's another streamer that streams his trades. His name's Candyman. I sometimes check in on him. He's another streamer that shows his struggles as a non-profitable trader. But he left his scanners open with his Warrior Trading scanners, and Warrior Trading actually banned him for leaving his scanners open. So he had to switch to Charts Watcher, like test out some different scanners. And I've heard of a one or two people that have gotten in trouble for streaming level 2 market data. Some of them I do see they are still streaming their level 2 market data and nothing's happened yet. I think Stock Jock uses Trade Zero and he hasn't gotten banned. He was using it, but I think he had just recently switched to Trade Zero. So I don't know how long he's going to be able to keep that up. I'd rather be on the safe side than the sorry side, though. I don't have many options. The Canadian. If I got banned on Trade Zero, I'd probably have to go to Webull. Or just bite the bullet and fund a $30,000 Centerpoint account. That's a last resort. So, as I kind of expected, we broke VWAP here and now we're kind of just consolidating. Yeah, I did. I agree with this commentary. I think Ross is legit, but I think he is trading with a tailwind. The strategy works for sure, and I've watched him long enough to know that it works. But I have recorded his trades, and it's very clear that the share size that he's trading with and the extra tailwind he gets from some of his viewers buying in does kind of pour oil on the fire sometimes. It's not relevant in every single trade, but it is relevant in some trades. But you can still trade the strategy profitably. You just need to know what you can and can't do and what your limitations are. Hello, hello, Lake Constructions. Welcome. Yeah, for sure. But I still have like a tremendous amount of respect for Ross Cameron. And I think a lot of people forget that he makes most of his money on like the top 20% of his trades. 20% of his trades make the most of his money. So he is being aggressive when the stocks have potential to be parabolic. When the stock's already trading at 1 million, 2 million, 3 million shares in a single candle, at a certain point, he is not the deciding factor in those trades. And there's very few people capable of being aggressive when it matters, putting their foot on the gas when it does matter, and identifying when they should be, and then taking their foot off when things are slow and there's not really much to trade. But I do think that the share size that he trades with and the extra little bit of tailwind he gets from his viewers does influence sometimes in colder market on some of the stocks and setups that it's like, maybe it wouldn't have worked normally speaking. But he takes a trade, gets a quick in and out 10-cent scalp. Like just imagine this scenario, right? You're trading a Chinese stock that's trading at like 200,000 shares in a single 1 minute green candle, and it's kind of consolidating sideways after making a little bit of a move. Maybe near high of day, maybe not quite breaking high of day, but it's up enough on the day that traders are starting to look at it. But it doesn't quite have a ton of volume yet. If you're trading 50,000 shares on a stock with a low float like that, like Ross does sometimes, it's going to pop up 20 cents on his order alone. So his cost basis might be between, like, let's say, take Ruby as an example. Let's say you buy at $6, 50,000 shares, and it pops up to 620, right? Your cost basis is going to be somewhere in between, like maybe 610, because your orders are filling as it's popping up. So your final order is going to be on average somewhere between 6 and 620. If it pops up a little bit more because you have people jumping in behind you, or maybe because retail traders see the stock popping because a big order just came through, they're going to act as liquidity if he wants to exit immediately at 620, right? If he waits like 1 or 2 seconds and then he just hits the sell button right then, those people who are jumping in and pressing the buy button are going to act as liquidity for his exit, and he's going to be up 5 or 10 cents if he just does that. But it depends on if he has the liquidity to do that, to jump in with 50,000 shares and then, kind of stokes the fire, pours oil on the fire, and there's enough people jumping in with buy orders. And, if you're trading a lower float stock and you can kind of manipulate price a little bit to do that by trading more shares, and sometimes you do have that liquidity. But it's not just his viewers, right? It's like everyone in the market. Everyone in the market that's watching that stock can see it pop up because he's choosing low float stocks that are going to be on traders' watch list. Top 5 leading gainer, low float, up decent amount on the day. If it pops up a decent amount, there's probably going to be a lot of people jumping on it. So I have a lot of respect for Ross Cameron in that he he knows his strategy well, and he makes most of his money when stocks have good news and they're moving quickly and they have a lot of volume, and he can take advantage of that for sure. I think that's legit. But I think his accuracy is a little bit bumped up by Tailwind. I think it's important to kind of take into stock that reality. You don't get disillusioned when you kind of take the same trades as he does, but you're not as successful as him. Because there is a factor there. But he has his losses too, right? Sometimes he jumps in and the stock just sells off. I've been around for like his $180,000 red days. And he talks about the important stuff, trader mindset, not getting FOMO, holding too long. All that stuff is important, and he talks about that too. He's a great education source. So Ruby's halting down. PGHL. I think this might have some descending resistance potentially. See, I did that correct. Yeah, this is gonna struggle a little bit, I think, because there's gonna be descending resistance up here along with this pivot level of 150. Already having some troubles. It's on the backside. IQST isn't really up enough on the day for me to want to jump in on it. Nice job, Momentum Trader. Ruby is resuming and potentially bouncing off of VWAP here. I don't think I'm comfortable trading this though. Same issue that I had earlier. Comfortable trading this after it just pulled off into a halt down. This is a common pattern that I've seen recently. If you're fast enough, is you get the panic halt at the open, and then it resumes. If it resumes at a critical level of support, usually if you buy the dip, you can get a quick maybe 30-50 cent scalp on it. It's not a part of my setups because it's risky, but it is interesting. Ends up being a bear flag. Yeah. IQST and DGHL were kind of the only things moving today, but they're just not in the price range that I like to trade, sadly. So this is testing the descending resistance right now, breaking through actually. Now we're coming up to this next pivot. So the high back here was 195, right? Yeah. So now that this is above descending resistance, if it could break the pivot of 169, and it has the possibility of retesting high of day, and it becomes interesting. This is third day of continuation. The only thing is, like, I don't have time to wait around for this all day. And because it is third day of continuation and we had this move back here, like we're coming into this window. Was this a symbol change too? This might be a... Is this an IPO or a symbol change? No, this was an IPO. So all-time highs is at above $4, $4.25. I mean, above 250, then you can see it squeezed to 4, and then above 4, and it becomes blue sky. I just don't know if it has the strength. The news on June 10th was receipt of NASDAQ staff determination letter and intent to request hearing. I mean, this was a news article that 2 days ago I wasn't sure would even hold up. I don't even know why it's continuing to go higher, to be honest. Said that the news is basically that NASDAQ was trading, it was trading below $1, so it didn't meet the NASDAQ requirements, and they were going to request a hearing, and now we're above $1.50, so it's, you know, potentially going to resume the NASDAQ minimum bid requirements if it holds up. But I don't think this is really that strong. Yeah, Ruby's halting down again. I don't think I'm going to force it today. I think I'm just going to get off. Call it a day. Call it a successful no trade day for me. Momentum Trader got some nice scalps on IQST and TGHL. I think Ross got a nice scalp on Ruby in his small account, but he had no trades in his big account. think for my stock selection and risk tolerance, we'll call this a successful no trade day. Better than a red day. We can come back tomorrow. Hopefully we get some news tomorrow and Friday. But yeah. Thanks for everyone that stopped by today. I'm going to end the stream here. Yeah, take care, Momentum Trader. Hopefully your day goes well. And take care, everyone else. Stay green. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one, Kadira. Good one, PRA.